There is a silent moment, sometimes in the midst of pain, sometimes in solitude, sometimes in chaos, when an inner voice screams louder than any external noise. And this voice doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't wait for the world to change. It simply declares, enough. And at that exact moment, everything changes. Not because the world got easier, but because you changed, because you decided. The masses live reacting to bills, opinions, fears, the past, like leaves in the wind, carried by circumstances, always victims, always prisoners. But the great, those who build empires, who change destinies, who turn pages of entire eras, they don't wait for the right wind. They decide to blow their own sails. Henry Ford didn't wait for the world to accept the automobile. He built it first with his mind, when everything around said horses were the peak of mobility. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before lighting up the world with electric light. And each of those failures was a decision not to stop. Life doesn't change when everything improves. It changes when you say, enough. When you stop accepting less. When you stop self-sabotaging. When you understand that freedom isn't a gift, it's an achievement. You don't need more luck, more time, more support. You need a decision. And true decisions change directions. Do you know why you feel stuck, tired, as if you're going in circles? Because you're trying to change your life without first changing your mind. And that's like trying to empty an ocean with a sieve. Reality doesn't begin in the physical world. It begins in the mind. Your thoughts are the invisible architects of your existence, and until you take control over them, you'll keep living distorted versions of what you could really be. Napoleon Hill said, "The starting point of all achievement is desire. But desire without decision is smoke. It's fragile. It escapes with the first wind of doubt." Now look at your life with brutal honesty. How many dreams have you let rust? How many promises have you made to yourself that were buried by fear, comfort, procrastination? You can blame the government, the boss, the absent father, the toxic relationship. But the truth is that while you outsource your power, your life will continue to be controlled by forces that don't respect you. You need to decide, and truly decide. Not like someone making a New Year's list, but like someone who burns the ships because they refuse to return. Like Hernán Cortés, who upon reaching unknown land, ordered the ships burned and declared, "No turning back." That's how he won. Because partial commitment produces partial results, but absolute decisions create whole worlds. Life responds to those who speak with conviction, to those who act even with fear, to those who understand that pain is part of the price, but stagnation is the cost of the soul. You are not here by accident. If you're listening to this, it's because something inside you got tired of living in draft mode, tired of repeating patterns, of just surviving, of always postponing the turning point. That moment has arrived, but it won't scream. It whispers. It presents itself as a choice, waking up earlier, cutting what weakens you, ignoring those who don't understand your vision, working in silence while everyone sleeps, and deciding every day, every moment, that you are the author, not the character, of your story. This choice is lonely. Don't expect applause. Don't expect understanding. Steve Jobs was called crazy. Walt Disney was fired for lack of creativity. Oprah Winfrey was deemed unsuitable for TV. But they decided. And that's why they transformed the world. You don't need to transform the world yet, but you need to start within. Transform your mindset. Because without this, everything you do will be sabotaged by the invisible root of your belief system. If you believe you are not capable, you will act as if you're not. If you believe you don't deserve, you will reject what is good. If you believe success is for others, you will keep putting yourself outside your own destiny. What you believe today is shaping who you will be tomorrow. And if you don't change these beliefs, you will be merely decorating your own prison. So ask yourself now, what lies are you still calling truth? What stories do you still repeat to justify your paralysis? I don't have time. I don't have money. I'm not disciplined. It's too late. Stop. You have what you need, a mind. And everything created in this world came from one. The difference is some used the mind as a tool, while others let it become a prison. The mind, that invisible force that can be your greatest ally or your greatest saboteur. It will give you 1,000 reasons to stop, 1,000 excuses disguised as logic, 1,000 perfect arguments to keep you small. But the truth? The mind is like a muscle. It gets stronger when challenged. It transforms when pushed beyond the limits of the comfort zone. You want to grow? Then it will hurt. It will feel uncomfortable. It will sound insane to others. And it will be lonely. But that's how you conquer the inner empire. There is no glory without discipline. There is no freedom without responsibility. There is no greatness without decision. Most want to change their lives. Few want to change their habits. They want results without sacrifices. They want harvest without planting. But the universe is not foolish. It does not reward empty wishes. It responds to vibrations. And action is the most powerful vibration there is. Do you act like someone who has already decided? Or do you just talk like someone who wishes? Because every movement toward change demands a cut. Cutting the old self. Cutting what distracts. Cutting what weakens. Change doesn't start with reading, with a speech, with motivation. It starts when you look in the mirror with brutal honesty and say, I no longer accept living like this. And that phrase, truly spoken, with a firm chest and a soul tired of mediocrity, that phrase can open portals that have been locked for years, but only if followed by action. And action demands clarity. Because without clarity, you become a powerful cannon shooting in the dark. You may move, you may tire, you may even, but you don't arrive because you don't know where you're going. So stop, silence the noise, ignore the world's screams, close your eyes and ask, what do I really want? Not what they expect from me, not what seems safe, not what seems smart, but what lights up my soul, what makes me feel alive, what scares me for being so big, and at the same time draws me like a beacon. That is your direction, and the clarity of that purpose is what will make you get up early, sleep late, ignore criticism, bear the weight of the path, and keep going when everyone else stops. Winston Churchill led a bomb-ravaged country with a single speech, because he had mission clarity. Abraham Lincoln was defeated countless times before becoming president, because he had purpose clarity. And you? Will you keep living the same days expecting different results? Will you keep pushing the pain under the rug and calling it normal life? Or will you rise with fury in your eyes and declare, from today on, I will no longer watch my life pass by. I building, I command, I decide. That decision doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to please anyone. It only needs to be true. Because true decisions move internal mountains, and when the inside changes, the outside obeys. You can rewrite your story starting right now. Yes, now. No need to wait for Monday. No need for the next course. No need for another book. You need to stop betraying yourself. Because every time you say you will and don't, start and don't finish, promise and don't deliver, you teach your mind that your words mean nothing, and a mind that doesn't believe in itself is condemned to stagnation. Rebuild that trust with small acts, with consistency, with discipline, because discipline is not imprisonment, it's freedom. Do you want financial freedom? Emotional? Mental? then start by being a slave for a while to your vision. Because every great man was a servant to an ideal before becoming a master of a reality. Napoleon Hill didn't write, "Think and Grow Rich" overnight. He spent 25 years interviewing the most powerful men on the planet. He slept poorly, went hungry, was discredited, but never gave up, because he had a mission. And that's what you're missing. A mission that wakes you up in the middle of the night. A vision so powerful, it makes you ignore the noise. A reason so strong it makes you unstoppable. Life doesn't change with more information. It changes with more transformation. And transformation begins with decision. So stand up. No matter where you are right now, no matter what they did to you, what they said about you, or how long you've spent in the dark, none of that defines what comes next. You are the author. And the pen is back in your hand. You can keep reliving old chapters, or you can start a new one now. But know this, the world will not stop to convince you. Life will not beg you to be great. No one is coming to get you. Either you rise with grit and move, or you stay where you are, waiting for a rescue that will never come. The most brutal truth you need to swallow is this: no one is going to save you. And at the same time, you don't need anyone for that. Everything you need is already inside: the strength, the clarity, the will, the power. It's just asleep, buried under layers of distractions, addictions, guilt, traumas, and fears borrowed from others. But there's a spark inside you, and if you breathe deeply, silence everything, close your eyes and feel, you will hear that spark whisper, "You were born for more." No matter how much they told you otherwise, you were born for more. You know it. You've always known it. You just needed a reminder, and that's why you're here. The universe makes no mistakes. If you're hearing this now, it's no accident. It's a calling to stop living small, to stop shrinking your dreams to fit into tight spaces, to stop asking for permission to live the life only you can dream. You weren't made to survive. You were made to impact, to leave something behind, to be remembered. But for that, you have to pay the price, and the price of greatness is high. Silence, discipline, courage, sacrifice. Most won't pay it. That's why most live trapped in the same job, trapped in the same cycle, trapped in a weak, tamed version of themselves. But you are not most. If you were, you would have stopped listening. You would have gotten distracted. You would have dismissed this as just another motivational video. But you're still here, because there's something different in you. Something that resists mediocrity. Something that burns in your chest. Something that, even without proof, believes there's something big waiting. And that's enough, because all you need to change your life is one decision. Not a passing idea, not a momentary excitement, but a decision that forces you to act. A decision that says, "I won't go back." A decision that makes you get up even without strength. Keep going even with fear. Move forward even without support. That decision is the key. It's the spark that becomes flame. And the flame, when fueled by daily action, becomes an unstoppable fire. Do you want to change your life? Then do it now. Stand up. Look around. Everything you see is a reflection of what you tolerated. Everything you feel is a consequence of what you believed. And everything you will be depends on what you decide. You decide if you stay in the cycle, or if you break free now. You decide if you repeat the past, or if you build the future. You decide if you will be just another one, or if you will be legendary. Because yes, life changes when you decide it changes. But the decision has to be real. It has to hurt. It has to consume you. It has to be the only possible option. And from there, you stand up different, speak different, walk different, think different, because now you live on another level, a level where fear doesn't rule, where doubt doesn't dictate, where discipline beats exhaustion, where mission is greater than ego, where every step has purpose, and every morning starts with fire in the eyes. This is the moment. Have you decided yet? So act like someone who has decided. It's no longer time to think or endlessly plan, wait for motivation, or for the world to be perfect. Life doesn't respect hesitation. Life respects action. While others doubt, you act. While others sleep, you build. While others avoid pain, you turn pain into power. You understand what few accept. Discomfort is the gateway. Through chaos comes order. Falling teaches you to rise higher. Failing builds the muscle of invincibility. You've wasted too much time avoiding pain, but now you know. Seeking too much comfort builds an invisible prison. You were born to be free. Free to think big. Free to break patterns. Free to be more than expected. So promise yourself and keep it. From today, no more lowering your head. No more hiding behind excuses. No more self-sabotage. You will rise with strength, act with discipline, speak with authority, live with purpose. Because true change starts inside. And when you change, you don't need to announce it. People feel it. Your energy shifts. Your presence commands respect. Look honestly at your life and say out loud, "This ends today. I change today. Because I have decided. Not tomorrow. Not Monday. Now feel it in your chest. Engrave it in your soul." What begins today is not just change. It's the birth of a new you. One who won't be stopped. Who won't be broken. Who won't be defined by pain, mistakes, or weak opinions. One who looks at the impossible and says, "I am greater, so go." Walk with faith, move with strength, act with courage. Remember, every step, your life changes when you decide it changes. And you've just decided.